8 rappers who are younger than you thought. It's no secret that rap is a genre that belongs to the youth. Compared to other popular music genres like rock and pop, it hasn't been around all that long. Despite this, you might be surprised to learn that some of the biggest stars in rap are getting a bit older. Huge names like Jay-Z, Gucci Mane, and Future aren't exactly young kids anymore. This might make you think that most rappers are older than you expect, but that isn't true. The rap game is full of variety, both in terms of sound and in terms of people who are in it. We have those random preteen rappers that pop up every now and again, like Lil Twist from Young Money back in the day, as well as veterans like Nas, who are still recording music to this day. But because of this, it can be a little hard to accurately gauge how old certain rappers are. There are some big names out there that are way younger than you might have thought, and that's what I'm interested in talking about today. Some rappers who have been in the game for a long time actually just started at a young age, and some people just look way older than they actually are. Go figure. Before I jump into this though, make sure you like this video and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Now, here are 8 rappers that are younger than you thought. Let's start at number 8 with Takeoff. Out of Takeoff, Quavo, and Offset, everyone always thought Takeoff was the older member. He came off as very reserved and chill, making it seem like he was almost the uncle of the group. To the contrary, he's actually younger than Quavo and Offset by 2 years. And Quavo is actually Take's uncle, believe it or not. Him being the youngest cousin of the 3 actually makes sense, as that's probably why he got left off of Bad and Bougie, but we all know what his response to that would be. The odd familial connections of the group aside, Takeoff is only 26 years old. Offset and Quavo, on the other hand, are 28 and 29 respectively. Migos was formed way back in 2012, meaning Takeoff was only 18 at the time. So in that sense, Takeoff is basically a veteran of the rap game. The Migos released their first tape, Jug Session, in 2011, still before Takeoff was old enough to legally drink. He branched off on his own in 2018 for his solo tape, The Last Rocket, but we haven't heard much from him since. Hopefully he, Quavo, and Offset are focused in the studio, working on Culture 3. Number 7, 21 Savage. 21 Savage is truly a man of mystery. Most of us probably just thought of 21 as a relatively straightforward rapper from Atlanta until a bombshell was dropped. 21 Savage is actually from London, England of all places. Anyone who remembers the 2019 controversy where he was detained by the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement will remember just how shocking it was to learn about Sir 21's true origin story. With a secret like that now discovered, it makes sense that there would be more about 21 Savage that would surprise us. We're talking about his age. 21 is actually 27. Which is a bit younger than his tattoos and persona would have led you to believe. This might catch you off guard because of how big of a force in the music industry he is. It really seems like he's been at the top of the rap game for a long time, but this is just because he's had a pretty meteoric rise to fame. 21's rap career didn't really start until 2015, the year that he independently released his first few mixtapes, including Slaughter King. It was only a year later until he released Savage Mode with Metro Boomin, an EP that really brought him into the limelight. The rest is history. Number 6, NBA Youngboy. NBA Youngboy has pretty much been a relevant name in rap since he released 38 Baby in 2016, but no one knew he would reach the heights that he has today. And he's done it all while being under America's minimum drinking age. Youngboy is only 20 years old, making him one of the youngest rappers in the world right now to reach such levels of success. He's had a massive amount of songs that charted high, and his 2018 album peaked at number 7 on the Billboard. He probably seems a lot older than he really is for a number of reasons, but most of all might just be how prolific he really is. The guy has released 16 mixtapes since 2015, as well as 2 studio albums. He may be young, but he's kept incredibly busy. Many people talk about NBA blowing up overnight, but he has actually been grinding for years, since he was about 15 in fact. It's hard to say where he'll be when he's 25, or even when he's 21. With how young he is, it's only fair to expect the rapper once called the King of YouTube to continue growing. Number 5, Post Malone. Post Malone is an artist that defied the odds. He burst onto the scene with his smash hit, White Iverson, when he was only 20 years old, and many people quickly wrote him off as a one-hit wonder. Currently one of the most listened to artists in the world, it's safe to say that Post has since then more than proved his doubters wrong. He's climbed not only to the top of the rap game, but to the top of the music industry in general. Believe it or not, but it's only been a short 5 years since White Iverson first dropped. That means he's only 25 years old currently. People commonly believe that Post Malone is older than he is, and it's not too hard to see why. The dude just looks kinda old. It doesn't help that he has a fair share of face tattoos as well, as it's well known that face tattoos can make you look older than you are. Regardless, this just means that Post has many more years left for him at the top, so get ready to hear Circles on the radio for a little bit longer. Number 4, Chief Keef. Chief Keef has been famous for a better part of the past decade, yet he just turned 25 this past August. It's pretty hard to believe that he's this young, but it's mainly due to the fact that he blew up so young. In fact, his age was kind of an awkward topic when he first was garnering recognition. During a Breakfast Club interview, he said that he was 300 years old, but he was actually only 16 or 17 at the time. While Keef's glory days might be past him, no pun intended, that doesn't change the amount of influence that he's had on the rap game. Few people in their 20s can claim that they changed the sound of an entire genre like Keef has. Whether it was him introducing the Chicago drill sound to the world, or him popularizing a melodic, mumble rap style of delivery with his slightly later mixtapes, Keef has accomplished a massive amount for such a young guy. Interestingly, several of today's popular rappers cite Chief Keef as a direct influence. Both Playboi Carti and Lil Uzi Vert have said how much they were inspired by Chief Keef while growing up, despite both of them being within 1 year of Keef's age themselves. Number 3, Cardi B. Even though Cardi B hasn't been popping in the music industry for too long, she seems a bit older than she actually is, thanks to her status as a mother. She is only 27 years old, yet scrolling through her Instagram and seeing pictures of her with her 2-year-old daughter Culture might make you think that she's a bit older. She and Offset had their child back in 2018, when Cardi was only 25, and she came out with Bodak Yellow when she was only 24. The Bronx-raised rapper has had a relatively short music career, another factor that contributes to her seeming younger than she actually is. She jumped to the top incredibly quick with her debut album, Invasion of Privacy, in 2018. While Cardi hasn't released a ton of music since then, WAP has made it clear that she has just as much star power as ever. No matter how you feel about her, she's here to stay. Number 2, Soulja Boy. If you're Gen Z, someone who was born in the mid-90s to late 2000s, it's possible that Soulja Boy was famous when you were in elementary school. And while he's not that relevant anymore, it's still surprising that he just turned 30 this past July. Soulja's music feels like an artifact of the past, more or less. He came from the long-forgotten era of LimeWire and MySpace, an era where you know a song was popular because people had it as their ringtone. But it turns out that Soulja Boy, also known as Young Draco, really just got an early start. He was born in Chicago in 1990, which means that he was just 17 when he released his first mixtape in 2007. That was the same year he went #1 and 3 times platinum with Crank That. His next few hits, like Kiss Me Through the Phone and Turn My Swag On, came in the next year, and his music had pretty much failed to chart since then. With that said though, there's still some hope for Soulja Boy. As I've noted, he's not as old as most people would think, so he's got plenty of time to make a comeback, whether it be with music or his own gaming console. Although maybe he lost his chance after his self-proclaimed best comeback of 2018, so we'll have to wait and see. And at number 1, we have Drake. Drake is another name that has been famous since the late 2000s, and while he's a few years older than Soulja, it's still surprising to see how much he's accomplished at the age of 33. Drake has already had the type of career that most musicians can only dream about, and he has plenty of time to keep progressing and growing. To put it into context, Kanye West is 43, and Lil Wayne, the man who first signed him, is 37. Drake got signed to Young Money back in 2009, when he was 22 years old. While this might seem like a late start, compared to some of the other rappers on this list like Soulja Boy and Chief Keef, it didn't take long for Drake to start rising through the ranks. His first tape with Young Money, So Far Gone, charted high and had a few hit songs. After this, Drake released hit song after hit song, seemingly establishing himself as one of the most popular rappers in the world. By the time Take Care was released in 2011, Drake had become a household name at 25. It had only been 3 years since he first got signed. It's really hard to argue that Drake has since become anything other than the most popular rapper in the world right now. He's currently the second most listened to artist on all of Spotify, and he also has the most songs to ever chart on the Billboard Hot 100. Not bad for a guy who's only 33. So which rapper's age were you most surprised by? Let me know in the comments. And before you leave, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to our channel.